show plenty of key scenes that had to be cut before release. One scene in the final movie seems too incredible to have been left out. When Aragorn and his army assemble outside the Black Gate for one last battle, the original version of the scene saw Sauron himself take physical form and fight the new king. It was an amazing twist, and in the end, probably a bit too
he still killed you, and I still
ring drama seemed like a side story. Sauron was replaced by a massive troll instead. The Avengers: Age of Ultron. The second team-up of Marvel's biggest stars ended on a bittersweet note. The speedster Quicksilver dead, and a batch of new heroes sent to become the Avengers. The hero's death wasn't always a sure thing. Director Joss Whedon admitted that the final scene was filmed with Quicksilver included, in a new costume to boot.
You didn't see that coming?
I'm talking to me.
To add insult to injury, Marvel taking longer than expected to get a new Spider-Man and Captain Marvel film off the ground, and
I'm putting it on YouTube too.
The closing scene as he planned. Spider-Man would have had fans cheering for sure, but Whedon thought it would just be funny to include Captain Marvel without any explanation. In the end, the bombshell and the joke were nowhere to be found. World War Z. Seeing Brad Pitt battle zombies in a blockbuster movie seemed like a dream come true, but his character Jerry's story didn't originally end so happily. Instead of a third act that saw Jerry discover how to solve the zombie crisis and return safely back to his family,
But boy, you
the
shot
original
me
ending
all
told a
game.
completely different story.
And
Jerry's
get
would have
all
landed
these
in
kill
Moscow,
streaks.
where he was forced to join a zombie death squad for months.
I'm at the bottom, y'all.
In a massive battle
I'm at the
with Red
top,
Square.
the tough one that
Finding
gets
Lost star
kills
Matthew
after
Fox
kills.
plays such a tiny role. He had claimed Jerry's family as his own.
I got
lost
I got
father and
dogs,
husband to cross an ocean back to America, storming the beach in a storm of zombie carnage.
That
The credits rolled,
kills you
setting up
got
an
9.
even more intense sequel. Oh well, happy endings are fun
just got
too,
14.
I guess.
Well, I got
Alien.
16.
With Ridley Scott's alien horror, Hollywood didn't just get one of its most successful movie monsters, but one of its greatest sci-fi icons and a badass woman for the ages. But it wasn't always going to play out that way.
Killed my dog.
The original script ended with more horror than victory, with Ripley being ambushed by the xenomorph, biting her head clean off before sending a message to Earth using her voice. It's definitely a creepy ending and a shocking twist.
Boy, shot my
The
dog's
franchise that
head
developed
off.
around Ripley, not using it was probably the way to go.
Two of them did it.
Rocky Balboa. Sylvester Stallone blurred the line between fiction and
felt
reality
very
with the
sad,
2006 return to the role of Rocky, playing an old champion whose best days are behind him, but who refuses to be forgotten. The movie sent a good message, though, since Rocky proved that youth isn't everything. He loses to a younger, faster boxer, but doesn't really care since he put up a good fight. If that sounds cheesy to you, the original ending had Rocky win the fight, and remain as potent a fighter at an old age as he was in his prime. In the end, they decided to keep it at least somewhat believable, and a lot like the original Rocky. 7. Sometimes it's the idea of a studio not going with a twist ending that seems insane in hindsight. In the case of the dark serial killer thriller 7, director David Fincher and star Brad Pitt were set on keeping the movie's what's-in-the-box ending, no matter how hard the studio pushed. The serial killer John Doe pushing Pitt's character to kill him meant the villain won, with an innocent woman killed in the process. The studio tried to come up with a different ending, from having the plan foiled to there only being a dog's head in the box. The strangest idea was having Morgan Freeman's soon-to-be retiring cop gun down the killer instead, sacrificing his own freedom just to keep evil from winning the day. Fincher stuck to his guns, and the darkest and most disturbing ending possible guaranteed the movie's place in history. Terminator Salvation. It's no secret that more Terminator sequels have been disappointing than cult classics, but the original movie version of Terminator Salvation at least wanted to try something interesting. In the finished movie, John Connor's heart was injured in a battle with the T-800, so a Terminator human hybrid named Marcus sacrificed his own to keep the Resistance leader alive. But the original ending had Connor die. His inner circle decided to attach his face to Marcus, letting the Terminator lead humanity to victory in disguise. If that wasn't dark enough, the director claimed that his ending would have seen the operation succeed, before Marcus murdered everybody. So, Salvation could have been a lot worse.
Took his body with a bomb.
Superman 2. When Man of Steel ended with the controversial death of General Zod, some fans claimed that showing Superman commit murder was heresy. Their opponents pointed to Superman 2, the movie where Superman stripped Zod and his partners of their powers, then beat them to a pulp and watched them fall to their deaths. It's a fair defense of Zack Snyder's reboot, but the original cut of the movie showed the Kryptonians didn't die after all. Instead, they were arrested by, wait for it, Arctic Police. No, seriously. The group wound up serving hard time for their crimes, which meant the Man of Steel seal debate will probably never end.
Blast off!
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Like
The second
that.
film in the rebooted Planet of the Apes series took audiences by storm, with most of the credit given to the cast
All of
underneath
them
the
right
CG
there.
makeup of
I
the apes.
know.
One.
The
I
original
was
ending of
behind
the
the
movie
house,
set
I
the
couldn't
stage for an
shoot 'em.
even bigger thriller. When the human forces are dealt with, the apes' leader Caesar learns that reinforcements are already on the way. The final shot shows Caesar's eyes preparing for the war ahead. The movie was originally planned to show the Navy arriving and the apes squaring off on the Golden Gate Bridge. It achieved the same goal, but the director thought it only tied his hands for any sequel. Hancock. Will Smith's turn as a superpowered super slacker was a strange mix of action, comedy,
I was about-
superhero
Somebody
origin,
over there,
and
somebody over
mythical
there.
love
Where?
story. While the
I
original
was about
script had
to
finished
kill you. I was about to shoot your head off.
it almost went to a very, very dark place.
I'm telling you,
Instead of learning that his friend's wife was his superpowered soulmate, the original script had Hancock kidnap and try to force himself on her before slaughtering the horde of police officers who arrived to
Wait.
rescue her. Just to guarantee audiences left the theater with their jaws dropped, he would then try to kill himself with one of the cops' guns. The bullet didn't leave a mark, but it shocked the studio into totally changing the film's
1963
direction.
to 37.
Most of those.
So what do you think of our list? Did we miss any of your favorite twist endings or game-changing deleted scenes in hit movies?
That round in the
Be sure to share them
kill
in the
though.
comments.
Put him on the camera. Put him